Folded is a puzzle game that I saw in my friendly local game store, and I was curious about it because how unique and really unusual it looked, and you'll see that when I show you the game. It is again a puzzle game, one of those games in which there is a card at the center of the table and everybody's working in their personal play area to create a set of components that matches that card. From Dr. Microbe to a lot of other, Thumbs Up, a lot of other games have that mechanic, which works very well when you're playing with children because it's a parallel race. They don't need to stab each other in the back, to betray each other. Of course, a child doesn't necessarily like when they're not scoring a point, but definitely part of the emotional intensity that the games have is not there because this kind of game is not confrontational. So Folded definitely is a puzzle game of that kind. It is a game in which you fold. Yes, you fold stuff. The title is totally accurate, not misleading at all. Without further ado, let's see what you fold and how. Now the game comes with 4 recipe cloths, that is, these foldable cloths with different types of food printed on them, and they're double-sided. The same type of food is in the same spot on both sides, as you can see. Here we have the chicken, and if it's the chicken, it could be a turkey. And here we have the same bird, here we have the ramen, and here the ramen, and so on and so forth. Each player takes one such cloth. You will use these tokens to keep track of score. And then you have the recipe cards that are not that easy to take out of the box. Well, now I practice. And there are 2 types of cards, the basic ones and the advanced ones. Now the players will decide which ones they want to play with, and then you simply flip a card face up so that everybody can see it, and then players simultaneously each work on their cloth, on the piece of cloth, and they're trying to fold it so that the cloth only shows those four types of food. Doesn't matter the position as long as those are visible and nothing else is visible. Also, you can only fold along the edges of the different areas. You cannot go diagonal or things like that. Here, for example, what do we have? Let's see what we have. We have a steak with fries, we have these burritos, we have pizza and sushi. First thing, we need to identify where things are. So I see the sushi here, and steak and fries, pizza, and burrito. So these are the 4 that we're trying to get together. I would say first thing, since we're not gonna need this line, we can just fold it and make it disappear. And then these are the ones that we need, right? So how about we do this? Right, now we have the ones here on the sides. Oh, and let's turn it the other way. Fold it like this. And fold it like this. And here we go. We got exactly the 4 dishes. This is the game. You're trying to do it as fast as possible, and of course the different cards will have different combinations of dishes that will be in different positions, and so will force you to fold your cloth differently. But this is how the game works. Now the scoring rules as written. You're gonna start with 3 of these tokens in your personal area, and there's gonna be a number of these larger tokens in the middle of the table, number equal to the number of players minus 1. When you complete your folding action, you grab one of those tokens, and so does everyone. That means the last player will not get a token. That player will have to discard one of their start tokens. When you have no start tokens, that is, you had the last player 3 times, you're out of the game. You continue like this until there's only 1 player standing. I don't like these victory conditions very much. Unless I'm playing with 2 players, then it's fine, because when 1 player is eliminated, the game is over and the other player wins. But here, if we were playing with 4 players, then somebody would be out of the game for a while before the game is over. Seems unfair to me. And so when playing with more than 2 players, we simply play that the first player will collect a start token, and you need a number of tokens to win the game. Say the first player to get 4 start tokens wins the game. This, in a nutshell, is Folded. I played this game with my daughters and they really enjoyed it. And they enjoy in general games of this kind, in which you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. We don't have to fight and let's see who gets there first. And there is that thing that, you know, not being the one that scores doesn't mean that the players positively destroyed you. And so that is fun. That is fun if you're playing with 6-7-year-old players whose emotions are notoriously very strong, very intense. Parallel race puzzle games take care of that. Within the genre, this is a pretty unique. This is very different from anything else. And it has a dexterity element, of course. You may have a fold that you want to do in your mind, but then by doing it, there's another fold that is falling off that you did earlier. And so there definitely is a dexterity element. Most importantly, when playing with children, there is the beauty of seeing them developing or training or practicing their sequential thinking. That is something that, well, it's very important in life and that kids are still learning. And so actually, there's been a phase early on where we were playing the game. We're playing it as a cooperative game, as a cooperative puzzle. That was the card they were trying to match, and together we were working to figure out an efficient way of doing it. So then my daughters, although they're so young, they started figuring out certain patterns, certain how to do it. And we as adults, for us, that's easier. And so if I want to bring a square that is there, want to bring it there, what should I do? And it was really fun to see my daughter Amelia, who is 8 in particular, really starting from like, I don't know, this makes no sense. So like, ooh, I start seeing it. Now, in a certain sense, it's a quote-unquote algorithmic game. It's similar to Rubik's Cube. When I was a kid, I thought the Rubik's Cube was about intuition and magic and mystery. Of course, until you realize that there is one ideal way of doing it, and so just by applying that algorithm, you'll get it. Here, of course, as the same, there is probably, okay, as far as I can tell, there is one, sometimes a single way of doing it, or sometimes a best way of doing it. And after a while that you figure it out, then it becomes a little more mechanical. Now, if you're playing with other games that have played it with you, have developed those skills, or say that knowledge, that understanding of those processes, then they will apply them the same as you, and so it becomes more of a simply a dexterity game, more about fast execution rather than about thinking. And in particular, again, suppose that there is a puzzle in which you have these 2 pieces in the center and then the 2 corners, and you figure out kind of like the algorithm, and then you'll find another one that has the same configuration. And then pretty much it becomes a race to who realizes that first, that is, who finds the ingredients first on the piece of cloth, and then who performs. And there is nothing wrong with that, but it is the puzzle element, after a while, if you play it enough, disappears. And the problem is at that point you pretty much will want to play the game with other people that you played it with before, because if you have a newbie that is trying to figure out how to do it and then actually doing it, as opposed to you that done, well, there is that. There are other games, so this puzzle kind of family, in which the gap between new players and seasoned players is not so high, because to start with, they're just about recognizing things at a glance, or about dexterity. Here is puzzle plus dexterity, and if some of the players are not doing the puzzle anymore because they already know the right way of doing it, and that the players are still figuring out the puzzles, then I think there is no way for them to survive. Also, it is a game that can be played, as I did it with my daughters, cooperatively, just for the fun of doing it, for the fun of the puzzle. You could play solitaire, just see how many shapes, how many orders you're able to fulfill in a certain amount of time. So in general, it is a very original game. Its algorithmic nature has sort of pluses and minuses, but not big minuses. The only one, again, pretty much being that new players are going to get slaughtered. There is no chance that they are going to do even decently against seasoned players. But other than that, it is a fun little mental workout, a fun little puzzle To me, mainly for families, mainly for adults playing it with children. I guess you could try some of the hard puzzles with adults too. But as a game to play with children, I definitely enjoyed it, and so did my daughters. Fold it. Pretty good game, especially for families.